the Massachusetts High School Hockey Tournament, where legends are born on the hallowed ice of the Boston Garden. Years of sweat and sacrifice distilled into pure will, and this is their shot at immortality. Every shot, every hit, every play. The Garden is where childhood dreams are made. Only 12 teams get to dream this big. No underdogs here, just a team of hockey warriors battling for every inch of Garden ice. Now, it's not just about the trophy. It's all those years of hard work that for some culminate into one final game. This is high school hockey in Massachusetts, and the stakes have never been higher. Tonight, we follow the MIA Hockey High School road to the Garden. And tonight, it's Hockey Night New England.
Yeah, I mean, being an alum, it was special for me to play and then ultimately come back here as a coach. I reflect on my years as a player. I just remember how special it was for me to put the jersey on for the first time, and I had an amazing experience. I think because of that, I always wanted to come back, be involved in the program, and I was fortunate enough in 2007 to get that opportunity. And incredibly, 17 years later, I still love it just like it's the first day again.
Over the course of those 17 years, the Prep has been the team to beat. They've made 2 state championships in the last 3 years.
But you feel it. You know, every time we step on the ice, we feel like we have a target on our back. It's people want to knock you off.
Our goal is to win it, and last year we thought we had the team to do it. We definitely had the talent. We did everything right. We were the 1 seed. All odds were pointing in our favor, and then in the semifinals, we lost in a heartbreaking way, letting up a goal we know we don't usually let up, and then ultimately getting shut out 1-0.
The main idea was just trying to just get back to the Garden, try and win it all, just be better than last year because we still had that sour taste in our mouth and chip on our shoulder.
We go out that first game against Hingham and we lose. And I think that was really a tremendous wake-up call for the team. But it's a challenge, and when you get to the tournament, I think you feel an even greater sense of pressure to be successful.
The Prep won 8 games in a row, finishing with a 12-3 regular season record. They started off their trip to the Garden with 2 big wins versus Ellis and Shrewsbury.
Our third game was against Hingham, and I mean, that's a team that beat us the first game of the year.
We were all waiting for it. We were telling the team that this is the game we want because they beat us at our home rink opening night, 3-2. And starting our season off 0-1, especially losing to those guys who are always an unbelievable team, gave us a great game.
Our whole motivation was that revenge was going to be served sweet.
You know, it was a extremely hard-fought game that ended up being 3-0, but it was 1-0 real late with about 2 minutes left, and just had an empty netter and a goal after that. But just an incredibly hard-fought game with, a great atmosphere with a lot of fans.
Game 4, storied rivals.
Can't really ask for anything better. Catholic Conference opponent, school rival in all sports, not just hockey. The guys you just look at and you just don't really like because you've been playing against them all the time. Xavier and St. John's, best rivalry in the state.
We kind of got on them early, knew they were going to come out with a big push. So we tried to, hop on them early, and we did exactly that.
The boys were fired up for that game because that's a Catholic Conference rival game for us. And I think there's something to be said about when you're playing an opponent that can beat you, you better bring your A game.
We were ready to go. That was the best hockey game our team played all year.
And, I talk about certain players. That game, Jake Vanna just had that refuse to lose attitude. And he didn't get muscled off a puck all night. He scored a huge goal for us.
It was just great to see kind of our hard work all pay off in the moments when we needed it most. We scored 3 in the first period, kind of putting the game away, but as a total team, lines 1-4, D 1-8, and our goalies, it was just a total team effort and the best game of our season.
After beating Xaverian, they punched their ticket back to the Garden.
There's no replicating the Garden. Even Loring was the loudest rink I've ever played in. But going into the Garden, the nerves, step on the ice, the lights are so bright, the rink's a little hotter, the ice is a little softer, and you're looking around, 10,000 people, whether half the arena is wearing green in favor of Winchester, and then you see half the arena in white in favor of St. John's.
It is a little different. It's the ice dimensions, of course, are the same, but it's the Boston Garden. It's a little warmer than what we're used to. And we played at Loring, and the game prior to that where it was cold, and now you're going into the Garden where it's really bright and warmer, and so it's about adjusting to those things before the puck drops the best that you can.
Moments playing in the Garden, it's just like a dream come true when you're a younger kid. So it's a special place to play.
I think you kind of look up, you see how bright the arena is. You see kind of all of your family, your friends in the fan section. And, you know, for a lot of us, it, you know, was our last hockey game ever, and some of us it was just our last high school game. But it was a lot of fun, and obviously everyone had a lot of nerves. You know, it's such a big rink, big stakes. So I think everyone was a little nervous, and you know that caused for a few mistakes. But I think once we settled in and kind of got going, everyone was able to do their thing and play our game, which is kind of what got us there.
Halfway through the first period, he took a shot and it took a deflection off one of the Winchester guys and went in. So that was huge for us to get the momentum, because in the playoffs especially, when it's one winner go home and in the championship, the first goal is always huge, kind of relieves the tension a little bit, breaks the ice.
It was 1-0 after that, after I scored. And as we got going, we started getting shots on net. We started being physical. We started working as a team together.
Second period, more of the same. Had a ton of opportunities in the second period. I think they counted us for 20+ shots.
The pace picked up a little bit. Everyone was making cleaner passes and better positions and everything.
Winchester came out strong. They were there for a reason, and they scored a goal on us, and it got the team kind of shooken up. After they scored that goal, we knew that we had to change some stuff up. We scored, and the Winchester goalie fell back into his net, and the ref decided that it wasn't going to be a goal. That kind of gave Winchester a lot of momentum.
It's hockey. Sometimes you get calls, sometimes you don't get calls.
Third period, you can't make it up. It was an absolute story. Like, you couldn't have written it any better.
Everyone was fighting hard. You just kind of had that feeling that we weren't going to lose that hockey game.
Tied up 1-1. Everyone knew that it could go either way.
It might sound weird. I didn't think the game was going to go to overtime.
Brady got it, took a shot, got blocked, sent back out to him. He made a great play to keep it in.
He puts it to the net, and just kind of from my angle on the bench, the angle that we were at, I saw the rebound pop out to Johnny Ty, and I saw the puck go in. I saw the ref signal goal, and I mean, obviously the bench erupted at that point.
Unbelievable feeling, but I really didn't have to do much. Brady did a lot, the whole thing, keeping it in, putting the shot in net. Vanna was screening. Christian got the puck in the zone, so I think it was really a team effort, and I just kind of got a little lucky on it.
Shot from the point, goes between my legs. I turn around, puck's on Johnny's stick. I see the shot go in. Everyone's cheering, gloves come off, timer says 0, and the rest is history.
I was kind of in disbelief for a second, knowing that there was no time on the clock left after he scored.
Yeah, I was in complete disbelief. I didn't know what was happening. It didn't process with me. You can see after I slid, I kind of looked up at the clock, and I didn't know time had just run out, and I didn't know what was going on. So there are people grab my helmet, tell me to take my helmet off. We just won the game, and I had no idea what was really going on. I hadn't processed yet, and it took a few days to really set in.
You know, the word forever, this is what our goal was at the beginning of the year, was like, let's make this a year that's forever will last in our memories. And we were able to do that by winning a state title.
Following their win, there was a bit of controversy when it looked like the refs might have missed something.
So I can say in real time, not for a moment did I think it was after the buzzer. When I watched that puck go in, I saw the ref signal, I saw the kids celebrate. It did not even cross my mind that it could have been after the buzzer. I don't think it did to the kids on the ice either, or the kids on the bench. Nobody reacted as if, hey, that could have been a split second after the buzzer. The reaction was, that's a goal. And from my vantage point, when I see the puck go in, I see the ref signal, I never thought for a second that it would even be questioned. And then obviously the celebration ensues, the refs have a discussion, they declare it a goal again, and I didn't think twice about it. I thought it was accurately called on the ice.
With one goal not going their way in the second and maybe getting away with one late, that old saying, puck don't lie, might hold true. Either way, both teams fought hard, and both should be proud.
So Hockey Night in Boston was originally started as a way to celebrate high school hockey in Massachusetts. It started out as a radio show and a newspaper column. It's evolved over time to really this big summer festival, multiple levels, boys programs, girls programs, junior high school, sophomores only, the major showcase. On top of that, it's really become the best modern news and media platform for high school hockey in New England. With the acquisition of Hockey Night New England, it allows us to evolve and really bring the highest quality of that media. So not only are we providing information about teams and players, but we're providing those teams and players an opportunity for great exposure, to really have the opportunity to be seen by people who may want them to play with them at the next level. No matter what event you attend in the summer, we make sure that there's great parity and great competition. We're real proud of Hockey Night in Boston over the last 50 years. But what's really exciting is where we're going in the next 50. By staying expert in media, coverage, exposure, hockey and running events, and keeping players the central focus, we are going to excel into the future well beyond where we are now.
Sports Etc. Everything for hockey and more.
If you're looking for the best selection of everything for hockey and more, then come to Sports Etc. in Arlington, Mass. Since 1980, the experts at Sports Etc. have been properly fitting hockey players from beginners to pros, with trusted brands at great prices. Let the pros at Sports Etc. get you skating in the right direction. Visit Sports Etc. today for all your hockey needs.
I grew up playing hockey for Marblehead. I played youth hockey all throughout for Marblehead. And I remember, I'd be little and I'm skating with, high school kids are there and you think they're the best players in the world when you're young, and now I'm on the other side of it now.
I've been playing hockey here as long as I can remember. I think I've been skating since I've been able to walk.
It's been an amazing experience growing up here, and playing on the ponds during the winter is a feeling like no other.
This group of guys grew up together, and now they're fighting for a chance on their road to the Garden.
So starting 0-6, I think it looked a lot worse than it really was. We had a lot of close games, one-goal games.
We had some bad luck to start the season, and we also decided we had to be better and work harder.
We set the expectation that we wanted to be the hardest team to play against in the state, and we kind of had some measurables there as far as what would that look like. And so even though the results weren't there, wins and losses wise, we were still kind of working towards the measurables and making progress each game.
Everyone kind of took that next step, even the guys that weren't really playing as much.
And once we started putting it together, it just felt so awesome. Like I remember getting that first win, we'd put on the win song in the locker room, and I hadn't heard it in almost a year since sophomore year playing, and it was just the best feeling ever, being able to share a win with all my brothers.
I think it really taught us a lesson of the small margins that were in the game of hockey.
After that, the team turned it around, winning 17 of their next 20 games, going 4-0, punching their ticket to the Garden for the first time since 2011.
So we had a week off from our Final Four game to the Garden.
Honestly, that was the longest week of my life. I definitely can say that.
It was the longest week ever.
Brain was running the whole week. Felt like my life was just all depending on that moment.
You go through the tunnel and there's a bee above your head, and then you step out and it's like super bright and super loud, and it was the coolest thing ever.
It was just the roar of the crowd was amazing. I think it caught us all by surprise.
When I stepped on the ice and I saw a whole sea of red and the atmosphere, I was really kind of taken aback by how many people were there.
I stepped on the ice and my skates didn't feel right. Nothing felt right. Everything felt too bright, too warm. And I just settled in, got to the net, and just got to my routine, and everything started to fall into place.
We always say, like, expect the unexpected. It could be a little different, the rink setup, things like that. The noise. Just be mentally prepared that there's going to be emotion involved. Acknowledge that emotion, and then just trust your preparation.
So the first period, I didn't feel like I knew how to play the same hockey that I've been playing all year. It took me a while to get adjusted to the garden and to the environment.
I think it took us a couple shifts to get settled in. I saw the puck, and it was kind of a foot race between me and their defenseman, and I just got a piece of it when he tried to clear it, and I saw that I had an opportunity to make a play, and I just went all for it.
Kyle took it around the net like he always does, making a great play, and Alvin was right there, and he scored. I was like, wow.
I saw Alvin high in the slot, so I knew he'd be coming down, and I just said I'm just going to wrap it as hard as I can, and it worked out perfectly.
And I didn't even end up seeing the first goal. I think I was talking to one of our coaches, or I was playing with my chipped tooth here, which I lost in one of my first few shifts there.
The rest of the game was a defensive battle led by goalie Leo Burgess.
He just stood on his head. I think every shot was, I don't think there's a moment I didn't feel confident in him, and I think he was just very ready and positional for every shot.
And I think I definitely had a great set of defensemen and centers and wingers blocking shots for me, but it was just going to be a battle, and I think we all knew that from seeing the scores of Nauset and the record. That really showed in how focused I was, because I knew, and from many tests before, from when we went 0-6, that those small details of when you do let up make the whole game, and it wasn't even the game this time, it was the state championship.
I mean, he's unbelievable. Like, obviously as a defenseman, I was able to give him a little bit of help, but some of those shots I did not expect him to save at all. I think he played the best game I've ever seen him play. Obviously having a shutout in a state championship game is something to be pretty proud of, so I think it was an insane accomplishment for him and just the best I've ever seen.
The student section, they did a countdown, but they were early, so they did like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When they got to 0, there's still time on the clock. So we kind of like rushed the ice with time left. And actually a little bit of like disbelief, and kind of just kind of took a deep breath, but it was pretty amazing, just all the hard work that everyone put in.
Yeah, when that buzzer hit, that was pretty unreal. I remember looking at the clock, there was like 18 seconds left. I was like, holy cow, we're actually gonna do this.
I think I was too tired to actually take in the moment, because I remember I hugged Leo and then just got piled on top of, and it hurt really badly, so that's all I was focused on. And then I got out and I just didn't really know what was going on, because my mind was like, I need to go take a nap or do something, because I was just exhausted. And then I think it actually hit me a few days later. I think I was just driving home from school. I was like, oh my God, we actually won. I think I started crying in the car on the way home. I was like, we actually did it.
Just growing up in Marblehead and seeing the 2011 team win it, it's always been a dream. And I think to really hear that buzzer go off and just hear the place go absolutely nuts was really special. And to be able to celebrate with your brothers, that was something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And to hoist the trophy and bring it to Marblehead is just like really a prideful thing for me and the whole team.
Being able to raise that trophy, getting those necklaces around our necks, it's something I never thought that I would be doing. Not that I didn't think we had the ability to do it, it's just the chances are so high that we got bumped out due to a loss somewhere in the game. So.
Sports Etc. Everything for hockey and more.
If you're looking for the best selection of everything for hockey and more, then come to Sports Etc. in Arlington, Mass. Since 1980, the experts at Sports Etc. have been properly fitting hockey players from beginners to pros, with trusted brands at great prices. Let the pros at Sports Etc. get you skating in the right direction. Visit Sports Etc. today for all your hockey needs.
Up next, we have the girls varsity team from St. Mary's, whose season ended last year with a loss in the finals. You can bet they're looking for revenge.
Obviously, it's not fun looking back to that 22-23 team and can't really compare teams, but they were one of the more talented teams top to bottom that I had a chance to coach. And to get that far and to kind of take everybody's best swings during the regular season and the tournament and to come out, a little flat and get outplayed at the wrong time, it was very disappointing. And it wasn't disappointing necessarily that we lost. Obviously, that's a big deal, but I was more disappointed for the players and the 9 seniors that we had and everything they gave to the program. It was very disappointing from my end as the coach.
The Spartans led a vengeful 23-win season, leading to a trip to the playoffs.
So I think going into that last week in the Hingham Showcase, knowing the quality of teams that we were going to play, especially Notre Dame, we had to figure things out. And if we were going to put people in some elevated positions, there's no better test than playing Notre Dame and then playing Hingham in that tournament. So we were able to experiment. Although we didn't win those games, I felt like I saw some good things out of people that had a lot of opportunity to step up and play and put them in those situations that they haven't been in before.
They breezed their way through the first 3 playoff games with commanding wins in all of them. Their last game came down to an OT winning goal, which then led them to the Boston Garden for a chance to win it all.
A couple days before we had the game, I texted Angie Catino from last year, the goalie tender. I just asked how she had that mindset during that game, and I just try to have a clear mind like she told me to have and just be ready.
It's indescribable. I mean, I played there when I was younger for just 5 minutes of fame, but to go back there for an actual game, it was just indescribable. It's insane. When I first stepped out, I remember seeing the lights. It was very hot in there. The lights were bright. It just didn't feel real at all.
It was a really great feeling, Patrice Bergeron, Marchand. And I just hope to be like them when I grow up, to be as good as they are. So it was just a really great feeling to play on the rink that they play on and played on.
It was amazing. I just couldn't believe that we were there. The way that I was there last year just for a Bruins game, it was crazy to see that I was playing right where Swayman Allmark was playing.
Yeah, it's a humbling experience. I mean, all the great state championship games that have gone on there. It's so cool for the kids and the coaching staff to be shuttled into the Garden and going out before the game starts, getting a chance to walk out on the bench and kind of taking the view all in. It's a surreal experience, and it's just something that these kids will remember, and I'll remember, and the coaching staff will remember for the rest of their lives. And not many teams get a chance to do it, so we felt very fortunate and blessed to be in that situation. But at the end of the day, you still have one more game that you have to play, so you have to kind of put those emotions in check, try to get yourself mentally and physically ready to go and emotionally ready to go. And when that puck drops, it's 45 minutes, and that's all that really matters at that point. From going into the game, being played Notre Dame so many times, we knew how Notre Dame was going to start. They were going to overwhelm us. The first 10 to 11 minutes, they were going to come out flying, and they did exactly that. They carried the play for most of the first period. We expected that to happen, honestly, for them to play at that elevated level, but we also were confident ourselves if we just let the game keep playing and the emotions kind of settle in, things would even off as the game went along.
I think we came out with a lot of nerves, and I think we just needed a period to figure ourselves out. When we got back into the locker room, we all realized that why we're here, and we need to either win or lose, and it's just going to end that way. So,
giving up those 2 goals off not great plays from our end, a couple poor turnovers, kind of took us back for a little bit. But I think the whole year is about resiliency and being able to settle down and settle our emotions. And it was one of those things, if we didn't kind of snap out of it, we would have been down 5 or 6 to 1. So it was a great testament to our leadership and our kids to really just snap out of that and kind of, like I said, keep playing the game. Togetherness, focusing on that is trying to do things individually and trying to overhandle the puck or doing things like that.
Spartans fought their way back and had the lead late in the third. Notre Dame scored a game-tying goal with 7 seconds left in regulation.
When they scored, I feel like we all had the emotion in us that was what just happened.
none of us expected it. Everyone in the stands didn't expect it. And when it happened, we were all in shock. But we realized we just came back from those goals, 3-1. We can't quit now. Like, we had to keep going. We had to keep pushing.
We had time to go back in the locker room and kind of reset ourselves and get ourselves back in a position to really go out there and forget what happened the last 7 seconds of the third period and focus on trying to win a state championship.
The first overtime, I was calm because we've been through these games before where we go in overtime, especially during playoffs. And I was very calm and getting ready for those shots. Second overtime, I was getting more stressed out and more like in my head, but I kept it calm with my teammates just trying to calm me down after every save and after we go in a face-off. And then for the third overtime, that one was very stressful. I was expecting for a shootout, but I guess we did not go in a shootout, so I was very happy about that.
Playing 3 overtimes, it was definitely very tiring. Regular season, we only play 1, so 3 was very different to us. Everyone was tired, especially the other team, and we realized this wasn't going to be an easy game to get through.
After 3 overtimes, they finally found their break.
Vanessa passed to Kira, and then Kira passed to Bella. Bella made an amazing move, and I just got the tip off into the net. At first, I was just so in shock. I didn't even realize I even scored. It was a team effort, and I'm just happy that we all could share that moment together.
When the goal went in, I didn't even know what to do. I was just so excited. Threw my gloves, my helmet, ran over to the bench, and was just so excited because, once again, you don't know how to feel and don't know how to express the feeling because you've never been through that feeling before.
It's an indescribable experience, just being a part of such special players and a special season, and to kind of put everything together at the end and to walk out a state championship. It's almost an indescribable feeling. And it's about the experiences the kids have, and kind of looking back at it as after a couple days after the game, even looking back at the previous state championships, you kind of remember the positive things and the good experiences and the interactions with the players, and they're always going to remember it for the rest of their lives, and it's pretty special.